the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Planted with Sara Pion. I'm Sara Pion, your host, and today we have a very special guest. We have the legendary David Crosby, singer, guitarist, songwriter. I know you've all heard of him out there, and also a cannabis connoisseur. So I'm really excited to have him on the show today. David, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Well, you're a knowledgeable sort of person that a person would want to talk to.
Thank you. Thank you. I grew up listening to your music, so just being able to geek out with you on these things, I'm so looking forward to it today. But the first question...
I grew up listening to the music. That's probably where some of the mental troubles started.
Right? No, but it's... Anytime I wanted to like get into that space of just being like calm, and especially like going for like long drives out to some of my favorite places, you know, your music has always been the soundtrack. And actually, when I was on my way to sunny Modesto yesterday, we played your latest album that you did in 2021, and I could
for free.
For free, yeah.
Well, it's a good record.
It was awesome.
I've got another one in the can, finished, ready to go.
Oh, what is it?
It's more of that crazy Lighthouse band. Me and Michael League from Snarky Puppy, and Becca Stevens and Michelle Willis. It's a really crazy chemistry, and it works, man. It's a really good record.
I'm really excited to hear that. When I was listening to River Rise, I could totally... We were listening, and all of a sudden you heard, your voice is unmistakable, but then Michael McDonald coming up, I was like, oh.
Yeah, Mikey's good, man, isn't he? I think he's the best male singer in the country.
That voice, you can't miss it.
No, I love him. He's a really great guy.
Yeah.
I mean, a really wonderful cat, too.
Oh, man. It's just amazing.
Family guy, sober guy, all the good stuff.
Oh, right on. Yeah, when you think about like working in the music industry or in entertainment in general, it's like, well, my husband's been a touring musician for over 30 years, and he used to talk about...
Yeah, so you understand, it's a full spectrum environment.
Yeah, especially when the road crazies happen.
Yeah, there's real road crazies, and we just have to deal with it. But where were we? We were talking about funk.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wanted to actually go back to... We were talking about music, but before we get into all of that, I always like to ask a question of all my guests. What was your first cannabis experience?
Oh, first one. Okay. There used to be a folk duo called Bud and Travis. Travis was Travis Edmondson. He was a kid from down in the border country, right along the border with Mexico. And he was a talented guitar player and singer, and he split up with Bud because Bud was actually kind of a not such a nice guy. And he was working by himself. He got invited to a dinner, he and his bass player and his drummer, and I was their transportation because they didn't have cars and I did. I had an old 52 Ford. So they're all sitting in the back seat of the Ford, and I'm driving. And I wonder, why are the three of them sitting in the back seat? And then I hear these noises, and then I smell this stuff. And I said, what are you guys smoking? They said, pot. And I said, well, give me some. And they said, no. And then the bass player says, oh, get the kid some, man. Get the kid some. So they hand the joint up to me, and I take a puff, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling real good. And I'm driving along kind of slow. That was my first experience, and I liked it a lot.
It's so funny. And so many times I hear people say that they didn't think that they got high the first time, but you definitely felt it.
Oh, no question. I was, how people say I was born for this?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I think I might have been born to be high. It's just the most natural thing in the world to me.
I totally feel that. I do understand that. For me, it's something where like when I'm going through my day, and if I start to get like frustrated with something, Jeff will look at me and he'll be like, have you smoked anything today?" And I'll say,
Yeah,
"No." He's like, "Maybe you should."
yeah. Get down on some of that, honey.
Yeah, that's it. It changes everything. So we were talking before we got on to record, and you were saying that you were doing some trimming. So you have a couple of things going on because you have a brand that's launching, and then you also do your own cultivation at home, right?
Yep. The cultivation at home is just your natural normal, home grow. We grow because we smoke it, and it's better to grow it yourself than buy it.
Yeah.
And it's fun. We like it. We're good at it. We like it. We like the plants, and we have fun with it.
I heard your wife Jan has a green thumb, a bit of green thumb.
She has a green thumb. She's very, very naturally good at it, and so we have very healthy plants. And we do a lot of stuff: ground cover, feeding, soil composition. We're into it. We enjoy it. It's like cooking or something, where you kind of really get into the chemistry of it and get into the fun of it, and it's the most natural thing in the world for us. So yeah, we do.
There's nothing like going into a grow. When I grow, I do not have a green thumb. So when I grow, I normally grow not necessarily to propagate the buds, but I like to juice it. And I always laugh when I do them from seeds and I get males, and I look at Jeff and I smile wickedly and I say, "We juice the males." But what strains or cultivars are you propagating this year?
Geez, I don't even know. Janny knows the names of some of them, but names are totally deceptive because everybody thinks up new ones every week.
True.
And all the shops think up a brand new, "Hey, I got a new name."
Especially if it's not selling.
Beaver guts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it? I like it too. Let's call this stuff Dustin Beaver guts.
That is the truth.
It is the truth. They all do it. And so I don't worry about the names. I listen to them and I recognize some of them, and some of them, are significant, but I don't really, I don't pay that much attention to it. Our plants, I don't even know. Jandy does. She knows which ones came from where. We're friends with some growers, serious growers up in Humboldt.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of our plants came from them. Some of them came from clones down here. Some of them came from seed that we planted from kinds that we liked smoking. I mean, it's every possible different way of doing it. That's how we're doing it.
What are some of the qualities that you like in your flowers? Like, do you like things that are more like, for me, I like different things different times a day.
Well, that's changed.
Yeah.
I used to seek out strength more than anything else. I used to seek out the strongest pot I could possibly get. But the truth is, the pot is so strong now that I don't. I don't seek that. It's all strong as I need it to be. I take 2-3 puffs and I'm whacked. And I like smoking it, so I kind of wanted, maybe some less strong pot. But I do like the strength in pot, but what I seek now is taste and flavor.
Yeah.
Smell and flavor. The flavor and the smell just only. And because of that, I like sativa, or sativa, ones that started out as sativa. I'll tell you a story. When I was in the 70s, buying pot from guys who were the earliest growers in Hawaii, and these guys were on Maui, upcountry in Kula, and they were growing weed that they had gotten from Mexico, they were growing sensitive from Michoacan. That's where they got the seeds. And they were already then, in 1970, they had tie sticks and they were crossing them.
Wow.
Okay, so that's how far back I witnessed those strains being crossed. So anybody who tells me they got pure tie or pure, pure one or the other is really, you're going to have to prove it to me with a geneticist.
Yeah.
I think mostly it's gotten very, very mixed together and very hybrid and very creating new things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything these days is a hybrid. I actually had a friend who had some property out in Santa Cruz that he had rented for decades to these people, and when they left a bunch of jars of seeds that had they were definitely old land races, and he's like, I don't know how old they are, but I want to pop them because this is probably the closest I'll ever get to the real thing. And I was like, you have to do it. You have to tell me what happens, because it's people really miss I like the advent of I like seeing how things develop in new flowers with qualities of some of my favorites, but it would be something to be able to try what they all originated from, some really old landrace. But you don't get that unless you know somebody who's just a really strict collector, I guess.
I don't think you're going to find it hardly any place at all now. But I think that the weed now has evolved some to be stronger.
Yeah.
And is really, really good. You mentioned before that I was going to have a pot company. I am eventually, but I think, that until it goes nationally, it's sensible that the kinds of ridiculous laws and regulations that they are stacking on top of them everywhere, that they're letting them do it legally. The state laws and regulations are absurd.
They are, and we have to
absolutely fucking absurd. And it doesn't, and they're different everywhere.
Yeah.
So you'd have to do a different deal in each state. And here's my thinking on it. There's two levels to it. One is politicians. Okay, there's two kinds of politicians. One kind of politician says, I could take that money, that tax money, if we legalize pot, and do exactly the stuff you elected me to do: health, education, welfare, real stuff. The other kind of politician, which is probably more numerous, is the kind that says, I know I could steal some of it off the bottom.
Yeah.
And either way, they want it. Okay, that's the significant fact. Now, the place where I think it's going to make a difference is the banks. Right now, because it's not federally legal, you can't bank it in this country. So the Canadian banks are getting up to billions with a V in dollars from over here. And they are fucking loving it. But the banks in the States, man, I'm pretty sure they're pissed.
Yeah.
And they have the president's phone number. Believe me, they do.
Well,
so I think they're going to call up and say, listen, this is getting into serious money here. And we want it back in the United States. You got to legalize it.
Yeah, they do.
Well, it's silly, man. Having to have armed guards at every single, dispensary in the country because you can only deal in cash is pretty silly. It's an expense they don't need.
It's true.
But when they do legalize it federally, which I believe they're going to do, then my face and name are so recognizable that I'd be silly not to.
Yeah, you have to, because I know when Trixie came out with Garcia's pick, that was huge. And I heard that she actually had to leave her operations in California because it's just so hard to do business here as a cannabis company.
It is, man. It's ridiculous.
It is.
The regulatory stuff is way out of fucking hand.
Yeah.
They're way out of it, and they're still they're messing with the people that are trying to be commercial growers so much that the commercial growers are still stacking 50 kilos in the back of their pickup truck and driving to Wisconsin to that same phone number they've been always driving to.
See,
and doing it under the table for cash, because the regulatory stuff is so intense and so completely over the top.
Yeah, that puts people in a dangerous space. You were mentioning Humboldt earlier, and Jeff and I had gone up there a month ago to visit some farmers, and they were saying that, normally if we would have come up, there would have been like 20 other farmers to come hang out with us. But the amount of people who are they're losing their livelihoods that they've, had for generations, and the suicides up there of farmers is crazy right now. It's the whole mental health of the farmer.
It's not good. It's
No.
really not a good story.
No,
what's
it's
happening
not.
to farmers, and I would like to change that. If I do a pot company, I'm going to pay top dollar to the people that I get to grow the weed. But we're thinking about some different ideas, on how to market it and how to show people what it is. And we'll see if my ideas are good. We'll see.
Are you thinking, and I know that these things can change and evolve, but are you looking at doing sun grown or indoor?
Sun grown. I like sun grown. I don't. The main reason to do indoor, honey, is so you can do 2 crops a year.
Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing like the sun.
That's why they're doing it. It's because it's more controlled.
Yeah, I
more controlled, less weeds and bugs, but mainly so that they can try to do, they can try to hype the crop and hype the thing and hype the lights and hype the gross, mixture to get 2 crops a year.
Yeah. I can.
I'm really not interested in at all.
No, I don't understand when somebody tells me they have a full spectrum LCD light, because I don't believe that exists.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. And also, that's not the only thing. The light isn't the only thing.
Right.
I don't. I understand that they're doing it. And that it all makes sense. And you wind up with these little nugs. But they're not pretty like buds are, and they don't smell good like buds do, and they're not the way that I would like to see it and sell it. But we'll see. I'll get a shot at it probably next year, and you'll get to see if my ideas are any good.
I'm really excited to see that, because it's there have been several celebrity brands out there, but my money is on the celebrity brands of people who actually know what they're doing.
Well, some of them do.
Some of them do.
Some of them do, and some of them are having a very good time with it. Seth is.
Yeah. He's been having a lot of fun with it, hasn't he?
He's been having a lot of fun with it, which I really admire, and I like him anyway. And there are other people who are. I just think it's so easy to want to go big, and I don't need to do that, and so I'm not gonna. I'm trying to go good.
Yeah.
If I do a pot brand, it'll be extremely good, and it's going to smell good and taste good and look good.
I love that. That's the thing with the way the industry has changed here. When I first started over a decade ago, when we were still getting trained for federal raids in the stores, but we had all of those small farmers with just beautiful, beautiful stuff that you just don't see anymore. And, the reason that I started getting into policy was because there's just so much stigma around what we do. And they don't do that to any other industry. The taxation in California is completely insane. And then I don't know if you know this, David, but where those taxes go, some of it goes to nonprofits like the Public Health Institute that actively lobby against cannabis. So the taxes that we're paying as an industry are actually, the state is actually giving them to actively fund people who work against us.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that these things have to change, because when you look at that kind of like evangelism, they're not even really doing it for public health. They're doing it for their own
Yeah,
profit.
it's the devil's way.
Yeah, while they line their pockets.
Yeah, bullshit.
It's just such horrible
Lining
stuff.
their pockets, free ride, and it's just bullshit.
Yeah, it is. Well, going to some happier talk. I want to talk about creativity, cannabis, and you.
Well, every single song you ever heard of mine, I wrote stoned. All of them.
That's
Wooden
awesome.
Ships, Guinevere, Long Time Gone, Almost Cut My Hair, all that stuff, all stoned.
What do you feel that it does for you when you do that? Like, what does it help you get into flow state, or are there?
You know what?
Flex?
The thing is, I write with other people a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and the camaraderie of having a couple of puffs and getting high and saying, "Wait, have you ever tried this, man? What about this?" Or this idea has got me by the shorts here. I can't get it. Can't make it let me go. I have to write something about it. That's fun.
Yeah.
And fun and weed go really well together. Kind of like built for each other.
Yeah.
Fun, weed, they got matching edges. They push them together and they lock. I think that weed goes with music just extremely well. Listening, feeling, dancing, creating it, writing it, doing the poetry, working as a wordsmith, just jamming the music with someone else, playing through chord changes and seeing where it goes, which is what I used to do with Garcia a lot. Oh, let's see where this goes. That's really just exactly right in Weed's area. Weed just goes with all of that stuff really well.
Yeah.
It makes you loosey-goosey and happy and relaxed, and that's just the state you want to be in if you're trying to write.
I can see that. Like I sing and write jazz and blues, and it helps me get that critic out of my head so I can just let it flow and just have fun with it.
Yeah, that's one of the functions right there. It makes you not be so critical of yourself, and you forget about doing that and you just sing.
Yeah. And you just, I think for
Like Nina Simone.
I love Nina Simone. Nina Simone, Billie Holiday,
Mm-hmm.
Tina Turner, and Linda Ronstadt were my idols when I was in 5th grade.
Yeah, you got very good taste. I love all of those women. My favorite woman singing, though, is Bonnie.
Oh, she's amazing.
Oh, God, the girl can sing. And she sings purely from her heart. There's no tricks. There's no too many notes. There's no lovely noodly, 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 noodly. She's just singing the tale, telling it from her heart.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love her. Man.
Yeah,
she's so good.
She's got soul.
Yeah, she really does. And she worshiped all of those other women that you ever saw.
There, I had the good fortune of seeing Nina Simone in her last concert tour when.
Did?
Yeah, I got to see her at Davies.
Live? You saw her live?
I saw her live.
You lucky fucker.
Right? I was so excited. I had tears in my eyes. I mean, she was definitely not feeling well. But she did a great show and she got so much love that night.
She was such a soulful human being, man.
Yeah. She
was a lot and had a lot of trouble.
You can hear it in her music.
It was very brave, man. Very fucking brave, and musically very brave as well.
Yeah. Well, it's like when I think about, what performers and especially politically active performers have had to deal with in the past, and then being a Black woman.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
A rough go all the way along.
Yeah, that's it. And it's, people's preconceived notions of you for what you do and who you are. And she was such a fighter. But yeah, I love all of that. And it's I just think about, well, I know that I don't think Nina liked cannabis, because I remember somebody hearing a quote about somebody even comparing her to Billie Holiday, and she got really upset. I love Billie, but I understand, because it seems like Nina was pretty no nonsense. But when I think about like just all the amazing things that these people have brought to the table and how inspiring they are, and when you think about like your music, who are some of the legends that really inspired you?
Mm, I think the people that inspire me most are the best singer-songwriters, which comes down to Joni. Uh, Joni Mitchell, more than anyone, so I think she was the best singer-songwriter of our times, without any question. Not anymore, because she got struck down. But she's her work was superior to anybody else, I think, and it affected me very, very strongly. James Taylor,
Yeah.
same way, just really such pure fucking wonderful music, and really affected me very strongly. Josh White, early on in my thing, Josh White and Odetta.
Oh, Odetta.
Odetta, both of them affected me early on. I listened to the two of them really a lot when I was young, them and the Weavers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, but the people whose music really affected me the most, I'd say James Taylor and Joni Mitchell and Linda Ronstadt, definitely. And who else do I really love? Steely Dan.
Oh, they're brilliant.
They've just been so good for so long, so completely wonderful. The music's so fucking good. That's my favorite band of all.
Yeah, I love them. We always get on these things where we just start geeking out and stuff. The other day we were pulling out old Yes albums and listening to those too, and just like, because my husband is a bit of a prog rock nerd, so we like go all over the place with our stuff. But and then we were also listening to Steely Dan, and it was just like the stuff that they came up with, and they're such interesting guys too. Like,
Such interesting music, man. Just so polished and so good and so just right. I
yeah,
mean, really wonderfully right shit.
yeah.
Gaucho and Asia are two of my all-time favorite records.
Oh, I've listened to Gaucho a little bit, but I love Asia. Asia is such a great.
Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody that's ever heard it loved it.
Yeah. And then going back to Joni Mitchell, like, we were just talking about her the other day, because she's like, not only is she just so impactful, but we were talking about the fact that she's like the soundtrack to every woman of a certain age in their 20s. Like,
Mm,
you always go to Joni at a certain point in your life, because
hmm
she has that strength, and or she and James
Well,
Taylor have such
she
a
made
sweetness.
Blue, which Blue is probably the best singer-songwriter record anybody made.
Agreed.
Really hard to resist. It talks about all the heartfelt stuff just so well that it's beyond belief.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only beautiful, but I think it definitely, like, for a woman's coming of age experience as a young woman, it really speaks to that. It's that
Yeah,
strength.
I think so. Because it doesn't pull any punches, which I think is necessary if you want to get people, if
Yeah.
you want to really talk to people.
Yeah, that's it. I love that. When with Ronstadt, I always loved her pop music, but it sounds weird, but my favorite album of hers is that double album she did with Nelson Riddle.
Ha! It's beautiful. Everything, and her mariachi stuff is good.
Oh
Everything
yeah.
she ever did was fucking good. She's a wonderful human being. She's a friend of mine, and of course, she's having a hard time now.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw
The look on her face, man. She turned to me at dinner one time, a long time ago, and said, "I can't sing anymore." And the look on her face just broke my fucking heart. I started crying at the fucking table right there.
that's that's somebody who should always be able to sing.
Yeah, I think so. But that's the breaks.
Yeah, we change as we get older, and when I heard that, it broke my heart too, because she's just been, for me,
She was
like,
so good.
yeah, she's so good.
It's hard anytime, that kind of thing. It's happening to me. I've got tendonitis in my hands, right? And so I can't play guitar anymore. And
Really?
this is a guy who loved acoustic guitar with more passion than I can possibly describe to you. All my life, that was my companion. That was my lover. That was my friend. That was my joy. That was my place that I found all that fucking music was on a guitar. And now my hands won't do it. And so that's hard. That's a hard thing to lose, believe me. And I feel for her even more.
Well, what have you replaced it with? Like, how do you compose
I can
now?
still sing, so I'm still
Bless
still
you.
making records. I'm working on one right now with my son James. That's the Sky Trails band, and we are 2 songs into another record. And I have a Lighthouse Band record finished in the can, ready to go, ready to release anytime the fuckers will let me get it out.
I can't wait to hear.
I'm trying to do as much music as I possibly can in this little, admittedly very short window that I got left here. I've got medical stuff that tells me I'm not going to be alive in 2 or 3 years, and so I'm trying very hard to pack all the music that I possibly can, because it's really the only contribution I can make. It's the only part where I can add anything. So I'm trying to do that as much as I can, humanly possible, in the little bit of time that I got here.
When you look at that, like, I don't know, mortality is a strange thing. When I was going through chemo, I almost died, and in that moment I was very calm, but it did change the way I looked at the world and how I wanted to approach things. I realized that life was too short.
Where did you find that calmness? Because I'm afraid.
I think it was because in that moment, I just knew that there was just nothing I could do, and that was just it. And I surprised myself by being calm, because I thought to myself, well, this is it.
Well, that is terrifically admirable.
I think it's just one of those things that when it hits you, you just can't avoid it. And I've always been somebody who, when something happens, I might fight it for a moment, but then I sit with it and I examine it, and in the end, it's like when I got past that, when they were actually able to infuse me with something so that I was not dying, but I realized that life was short, and that I didn't want to pretend that I liked things anymore, or deal with people's bullshit, and it's okay to tell someone I love you and you're not good for me, and to start taking care of myself. And I think that was a cosmic kick in the ass.
Good, because that's the highest level you could have taken it at.
Yeah. But I mean, David, I think it's just it's not that it's not terrifying. It's just that it is.
Well, it is what it is, and we all got to deal with it. In any case, I'm having to deal with that. I'm having to deal with having lost my job, which I don't like at all. I love my gig, and I can't do it anymore, and that's just part of what I got to live with. But I am having a lot of fun, at least during the growing season anyway. I'm having a lot of fun tending pot, and now I'm going to become a trimmer, and that's what I was doing this morning, taking off the big leaves.
How does Jan rate your trimming?
Spotty.
So when I was putting out that we were going to be talking this weekend, I had asked some of our listeners for some questions, and I got a couple for you. One was, what are your tips for talking to teens about cannabis?
Tell them the fucking truth.
Yeah.
How simple. Tell them the truth. Tell them about it. Do not leave them ignorant, because they'll go out and start smoking some of that. What do they call it? Anyway, they don't leave them ignorant. Tell them exactly the truth about weed, and tell them, listen, if you're feeling very crazy, don't be doing it. It's not a good idea. But if it makes you happy, if the effect is that you are relaxed and happy, then there is nothing wrong with it at all. It doesn't have any bad side effects at all. Particularly if you can. Okay, they've given you the lecture about the weed, right? Pot burns at 450, but that it emits a vapor at about 350, and then you don't get any tar. That's why you vape.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I only do it in a PAX 3, which is homegrown in there. Okay, not weird little dibs and dabs and dribbles that I don't know if they were made in a lab in San Francisco or a bathtub in Beijing. I don't like the concentrates, because most of them they're using butane to do the extraction, and I can taste it, and I don't like the taste.
No, I like hash.
I can taste the other chemicals that they use for extraction, and I don't like any of them either. We use butter. Butter will pull it, and it doesn't have a bad taste, and then you can mix it with. We make ginger snaps, really good ones. Ginger and cinnamon work with the taste of the pot rather than trying to overwhelm it the way chocolate chips do.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes a really good ginger snap. And we grow, we grow our own, so we have the weed there, and we make our own butter and make our own ginger snaps. That works really well.
That sounds delicious.
It is. The flavor range is such that the weed it's not conquered, it becomes something else, and you don't get a weed taste at all, and it's delicious.
I think that the taste of weed, it's like when you use it almost, when you combine it with things that complements it, it's like an herb in itself.
If you cook with it, you can cook with it.
Yeah. Actually, where I am in Modesto, I had a speaking engagement last night with a friend of mine who has an amazing company where she infuses honeys and olive oils, and she has a sriracha that's better than the stuff that you can get at the store, but you have to be careful with your dosage.
Tell her I'd love a sample of her honey.
Oh yeah, I'll let her know. Her company is called Potley, and I'm actually going to have breakfast with her after this, so I'll tell her.
Yeah, tell her I'd love a sample.
Yeah, I definitely will.
We raise our own honey too. We have our own bees.
Oh, see, I love that, and I like using local honey for my allergies too.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah,
it works. That's one of the reasons we do it. We use honey that we grow from our own bees and our own. They're doing it from the flowers all around us.
How many hives do you have?
2.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Oh, another question for you. And this one is actually from Mara Gordon, and she's done a lot of amazing cannabinoid protocols with researchers to help with lots of different illnesses. But her question to you was, has cannabis helped you stay sober?
Yes. And that's a funny thing to say, because if you're smoking cannabis, you're not sober. But yes, in the sense that she's asking it, did it help me keep sober from hard drugs? Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely yes. I'm a person that likes being high, and I used to do hard drugs to great extent and to great damage. I damaged myself a lot. Canceled my consciousness for years at a time with drugs. That's what they do. I became so addicted that I went to prison. That's the only way I could get clean, was to go to prison. And I did. I did a year in a Texas prison.
Wow.
Weed However, it does not seem to harm anything that I do or my body or my psyche in any way. It makes me relaxed and happy, and that's all. And so I did 14 and a half years completely sober, completely. Nothing. No weed, no nothing, no booze, no nothing. And went to meetings, 3 or 4 of them a week for 14 years. And what happened was, after about 10 years, I finally felt like it had stopped snapping at my heels. But it took that long. The people who tell you they're going to get you off cocaine in 6 weeks are lying to you. They are lying. It takes years of time to beat. And it took me 10 before I felt like I was comfortable again about it. It wasn't chasing me down the hall. So then I waited another 4 years after I felt that way. I waited another 4.5 years before I smoked a joint. And then I felt, okay, yeah, happy and relaxed. I like it. It's not doing anything weird to my body. I think I'm okay to do it. But that's how the process went. It took 14 years for me to get comfortable with it before I would do any drugs again. It was that dangerous. It nearly killed me, and it did put me in prison. So I think I looked at it, pretty hard. I'm very happy that I smoke pot now. I do not want to stop for any reason. I love it.
Yeah, I really think that from a harm reduction standpoint, it can be a really valuable tool. I've I've had so many people that when I used to work in the dispensary, that they were able to stop using things that either they had bad relationships with.
Yeah, I think it's lots of people.
Yeah.
I think they're finding out, man, that microdosing is also helping with addiction because it gets people high in a way that allows them to see it. It's actually been working amazingly well. It turns out we were doing way too big a hits when we were doing psychedelics. We were doing 125 mics, and that's just way more than you need. You know who invented microdosing for me?
Who?
Okay, Paul Kantner and Grace Slick.
Oh, okay.
They used to have you ever seen a little tiny Altoids can?
Yes.
Like a small one, about the length of your thumb?
Yep.
Okay, they would take one of those and put 2 or 3 tabs in it of Owsley.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'd shake the can. Okay? Then they'd snort the lid.
Huh.
And they would get an immediate high off of it. Immediate. And so you didn't have to wait a half hour and, well, did I take too much? Did I take any? Is it working at all? None of that. It happened right now, and it happened in a controllable amount, which was the first time any of us had ever had anything like that with psychedelics. It was a fucking wonderful thing. And so that's how we wound up doing it. We would just take a little sniff off of that can, and we were microdosing then, right then.
Huh. I have to say I really enjoy microdosing. It's it helps me with creativity and anxiety. I don't do it a lot because my body becomes very adapted to it, and so after a while it's like I don't feel anything. But that's with mushrooms, not with LSD.
Yeah, I think shrooms are really good. They're organic. They do the job.
Yeah.
I like all of it. I like mescaline really a lot. But I'm so old now that I'm not going to be doing any psychedelics. I'm just smoking my joint or my packs and sitting back.
I just reflect on the fact that I don't have the time because I don't bounce back like I used to. Because you got to pack that time into the schedule as well. I don't have that.
You do. That's it.
And especially if you're doing a heroic dose, because that's, that can be large doses can be helpful if you're going in to do some like real work, but then you have to deal with it. When I was younger, I was like, okay, I got to work the next day. That's great. Now I'm like, no, I've got to
Maybe
rest.
not.
Yeah, maybe not. When you look at like the landscape of everything that's going on, whether we're talking about like music or cannabis or just the world in general, what are you excited about? What are you hopeful for?
I'm still hopeful about art. I'm still hopeful about creativity. I confess I am discouraged with the state of affairs in our country.
Yeah.
I do not like the almost half of our country that are uneducated and don't read books and are really, really stupid and believe that, Donald Trump is a wonderful thing. I'm unhappy about all that. I'm unhappy about our failure to deal with global warming. It's very tough for me. My son doesn't think we're going to make it. He says, you can sell global warming and the solutions to global warming in Sweden, and you will get it. You can do it in Denmark too. He says, but when you try to do it in Nigeria, they're just going to laugh at you. And he says, there's too many stupid people in the world. And he's talking about in America, not in Nigeria. Mm-hmm. He says, there's too many stupid people who just can't put the facts together that's beyond their ability. And they like that pickup truck, but that's my friend. I like that pickup truck. I want it to make that big noise. And they're just dumb. They're just fucking dumb. And that's really a tough thing for me. I would like the human race to grow up and go on out into the stars and see what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of that, looking at, like, I grew up, I'm a child of the 70s, but I was like really growing up during like the Reagan era and just seeing like how things, I just feel like a lot of it was done, the dumbing down of our country has been done by design for other people's wealth.
It was done by design. Look at it this way. We used to have the #1 education system in the world.
Yep.
Okay. Then it got degraded on purpose by the people running this country because stupid people are easier to manipulate than educated people. Okay. And that meant they could, have a more willing populace. And they did it on purpose. And that's a really shitty thing to have done to us. And they did it. And our kids are not getting that education. And they're just not. They're not teaching jack shit.
No.
And I don't just mean teaching cursive writing anymore, which is fucking ridiculous. But they're not teaching history and math and science and the real shit.
And civics.
Well, at all. And now they're in there trying to modify history. Well, slavery didn't really happen. And them niggers was all happy and just, they had a good meal and they liked that. Because that's, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. So there's lots of stuff about the world as it is right now that I am upset with, and it does actually help me deal with it. Being stoned puts a little distance between me and them, and I like that.
Yeah, I like adding a little CBG or CBD to that mix too to take down the anxiety about it, because it's been stressful for a long time. But after,
does that for me anyway. Just get from the get-go straight up. Just
yeah,
anxiety reduction is the first thing that happens right away.
Yeah, that's my go-to. I haven't had a prescription for any sort of thing to help with anxiety for over 12 years because I'm able to use cannabis instead.
There you go.
without the
And
side
you do
effects.
better to use stuff that you grew than use stuff that they made from Big Pharma, because, boy, you can't trust them at all.
Well, you can't, and that's actually
Well,
or are you going to
look at
say?
what they just did. Here's what they just did. They tried, you know how they tried to reduce the cost of insulin,
Mm-hmm.
and they said it costs you less than $10 to make it, and you're charging 300 and some. So we wanted to limit it to 35. The industry said, well, you can keep part of it for people that are on welfare, but you can't get that through. You have to take that part out of the bill because we're making too much money on it.
That's
They
disgusting.
took it out. I'm still paying $300
That's disgusting.
for something they make for about $8.
Yeah. See, that's the stuff that shouldn't be happening. And
Well, that's Big Pharma for you in a nutshell. There they are.
yeah, and the politicians that are supposed to be doing their jobs and protecting the people are filling their pockets.
As long as they can fill their pockets, as long as it is allowable for them to take money from the public, then they will be bought. And then we will not have a democracy. And that's how it is. And I don't like it at all, because I love democracy. Shit, democracy is the only one that gives a little guy a chance, honey. It's the only one. We've tried everything else. We've tried juntas. We've tried dictators. We've tried royalty. We've tried every other way of governing, and they don't work. None of them work. And they don't give the little guy a shot at all. And frankly, man, I'm not okay with anything that doesn't.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to education. People need to be educated on what socialism actually is.
Yeah, they need to. They need to know what these terms mean, and they need to know what these forms of government are. They need to know how government works, and they need to participate.
Yeah.
Drastically need to participate.
Yeah, that's it. Well, and that's when we had legalization in California, and there were a lot of people who were upset that they couldn't afford their medicine, and they were talking about, the brands are greedy, the dispensaries are greedy, and that's when I, would have
It's not. It's
no
the fucking regulatory shit that's messing up the price, man.
That's it. And I do I call it my stoner civics 101. I'm like, listen, the reason that we have all these issues is because the people who make our policies have an outdated view on who you are.
That's it.
So you need to let people know that you pay taxes, you contribute to society, you use cannabis, and you vote.
Yeah, and we like America.
Yeah.
We're Americans, and you gotta include us.
Yeah, that's it. We have to be part of the conversation. And it's not, it's really easy. It's very convenient for people to say that people who use cannabis are in this certain little box and that they don't matter and that they have no influence. But
but that's like 50% of the country now, so I don't think that's going to work.
It's not. They're lying to themselves. But now people need to actually come out and be open about, not necessarily like, they don't have to talk about how much they use it, but the fact that they use it at all. And that, these people's jobs depend on it. I'm
very open about it, but I think some people aren't yet, but I think they will be. And I think a tremendous number of people are smoking it.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I always say conversation is normalization, which is why we're talking today.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of work to do, David.
Yes, indeed. And I will help. And I can help.
I'm really looking forward to that. And thank you. I'm looking forward to our conversations in the future. I'd also like to see you grow one of these days if you'd ever let me.
Sure. Yeah, it's really pretty. It's a little Japanese garden right in the back of our house, and it's very, very pretty. And you would love it. You have to come when it's grow season, though.
Oh, it's on. It's on. I'm gonna take you up on that if you don't mind.
No, I'm good with it. I'm also good with us having more conversations because I like it. It's good. You're good.
I would love that. Whether it's on the podcast or just talking about policy between us or with like different like thoughts.
I think you'll find I help your podcast. So I think you will find that I help the podcast.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah. And I really think that our listeners, I know our listeners were really excited to hear about you being on, because I talked about it in the beginning of the weekend, but actually the other month when we set the date and everything, I made an announcement and I paired you with Peter Coyote because you're both, icons of a certain time. And I just thought it was like such a nice combination.
Well, stoners, I can tell you that.
What was
I
it?
know Peter.
Peter's he's a hoot. He's so, God, he's a charmer, that one too. He knows the stuff. We got into a lot
Watch out, you'll try to get in your pants.
No, he said he's in love now. Yeah. When we were talking, he said he was surprised that he found love. And I thought, God, that's wonderful. If we need more of that.
Odds are love unzipped his fly.
I forgot to tell him, though, that he was one of my best friends' crush back in the day. She used to watch every single movie that he was in. And now she watches all the Ken Burns documentaries just to hear his voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
David, thank you so much. And for people who want to follow you on social media or hear about your latest albums or projects, what's the best way for them to follow you?
Go to my site, go to davidcrosby.com, and that'll lead you every place else.
Okay. Are you still doing your joint ratings?
That's just a Twitter game. I just do that for fun. Yeah, sure. It's just a joke, really. I like anything that puts me in contact with people because I find them fascinating. So if you have if people send in more questions for me too, I will happily answer them. Questions are just teeing the ball up for me.
Oh, I love that. Well, we'll definitely do that for sure.
Okay.
I thank you so much. And everyone, remember, Planted is twice a month. And if you like listening, please give us a review, share it with a friend. Let us know what your favorite episodes are. And if you'd like to stay in touch over social media, we are Planted with Sara Pion on Facebook and Planted with Sara on Instagram and Twitter. You can also go to our website, www.plantedwithsara.com, or listen to us on our parent network, Radio Misfits Network, where there are other great podcasts, like one of my favorites, the Winemakers Podcast. So check it out. You can listen to Planted wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, whether that's Pandora, Spotify, Amazon, Google, Apple, Stitcher, TuneIn. We are there. So join us. And until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, it's a wild world out there. Be good to one another. Until next time, take care.